What up, is Marcus Dynasty with us. We did trades from what you guys commented on yesterday's video. So I think I have 10 or 9 different trades here that we're going to be going through. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We got DeAndre Swift signed jersey. We're going to be giving it away when we hit 2K. So we already have almost 1,300 of you. So let's keep it going. The first trade is Michael, and I like to butcher names, so Michael Spitzer. And this was, the cutoff was noon on Friday here, so if you did not get your question answered, you can put it below, and I'll try to answer it as I can. So, traded the 103 and 2 2023 firsts for Najee, Freiermuth, and 22 106. So, 103, basically a little bit of a downgrade to get to the 106. You take 2 2023 first, and you're getting Najee and Freiermuth here. The 2023 class is going to be great. He did say that he picked up J. Will, which is Jameson Williams, at 106, and used him in the other trade, and then also expect the 2023 first. So, in this predicament, I think it's a fairly equal trade. I mean, the mid to late first, you're probably not going to be able to get a Najee type, but this also doesn't say if it's super flex or not super flex. That makes a decent difference for the Najee part, because if you could get a running back in the mid first in 2023, because it's a good overall class. If you have not super flex, then you're taking some of those QBs away, and you're going to have an issue here. So overall, I would rather have Najee, Freiermuth, and 106 than the 103 and 2 2023 first. If I'm a contending team, if I'm a rebuilding team, I'm just going to take the picks here. So it just depends on what kind of side of the coin you are here. So, Skylar Zunker. We have a 12-team, half-point PPR, 1 QB, 2 flex, just assuming regular flex. Rebuilding team with a nice core of players. He's got Javonte, CD, Pittman, Pitts. I like that kind of core here. He traded Gibson and a 303 and a 4th, which means pretty much nothing. So, he received stuff. Kadarius Toney, I mean, not super valuable. A 23 first, which gives him 3 firsts and a 24 second. Depending where the 2023 first is, I mean, you're a rebuilding team with a nice core. Javonte and Gibson is a nice 1-2 tandem, but I'll take the 2023 first. Gibson might be really, I mean, his value might decrease quite a bit if they use a lot of Brian Robinson, if they use a lot of J.D. McKissick, if they just kind of take over his role and they just not take over his role. If they just put him in a limited basis, I think that Gibson's going to have a decent 2022 season. Kadarius Toney is one of those flyer prospects. He could be the number 1 wide receiver on the Giants. He could end up not even playing for the Giants just because of the issues they have. They also drafted Wan'Dale Robinson, which is kind of a Kadarius Toney replacement, which is very interesting. He also has 3 2023 firsts and another 2024 second. I would have liked it to have been a 2023 second, but sometimes your beggars can't be choosers, right? He said, this one's hard for me. Joe Mixon, I almost said Joseph. Joe Mixon and Cortland Sutton for Najee Harris and Michael Pittman in Superflex. And then he talks about competing for championship. Joe Mixon, Najee. I'd rather have Najee. And then you have Cortland Sutton or Pittman. I would lean Pittman. So really, I would rather have Najee over Mixon, and I'd rather have Pittman over Sutton. So this is pretty easy to me. I know this was a tough one for that person because Mixon coming off a top 5 running back season, but so is Najee Harris. Najee Harris, a couple of years younger. He said he only did it because of Mixon's age. I would have done it because of Mixon's age. Yes, a couple of years you're getting younger with Najee Harris, and still you're not decreasing in running back production. In fact, you're probably about the same. And then Cortland Sutton versus Pittman. I would rather have Pittman. He has the easier path to being the wide receiver 1 on his team. Yes, a weaker quarterback, but I think Jerry Jeudy easily, if you told me what are the chances that who's Denver's wide receiver 1, I'd probably 48% Sutton, 48% Jeudy, and 4% Tim Patrick, because Tim Patrick loves to do that. All right, next trade here, Derrick Henry, James Conner, and a third, so very little, for Alvin Kamara, Cam Akers, and DJ Chark. Also, DJ Chark and a third are basically interchangeable because they're just junk added on to it. You have Derrick Henry versus Alvin Kamara, which I think is very equal. You have both running backs getting towards the end of their careers, at least fantasy relevance. And then you have James Conner versus Cam Akers, and I'm a notable Cam Akers hater. But I think James Conner is also getting to that point. I think he's going to have a good 2022 season, but beyond that, I think that's going to be rough. And I think for Cam Akers, he's more of a long-term play. So what type of roster are you looking to doing? Are you competing for the 2022 season? If so, James Conner's side. Are you, especially with Derrick Henry, the 2022 side, that would be the Derrick Henry, James Conner, because Alvin Kamara might be suspended part into that 2022 season, which could hurt you. So Alvin Kamara, Cam Akers, more of the long-term play, which is kind of hard to say with Alvin Kamara being so old, but you can definitely trade Alvin Kamara and again, you can trade him for picks or even for a younger running back. So that's what I would do. Peter has another one. Oh, I didn't butcher, or I didn't even try. Oh no, my computer. I didn't even try Jason Sickelsteel. That was the one that did the Joe Mixon Sutton one. And this is Peter Gamel. So Mac Jones, Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson versus Kirk Cousins and Rashad Bateman. Mac Jones and Kirk Cousins are relatively same value. I know Mac Jones is a lot younger, but also Mac Jones has probably not the does not have the consistency that Kirk Cousins has. Kirk Cousins has the weapons and has been notably a end of quarterback 1, high-end quarterback 2. I think he's going to be a quarterback 2 again. Mac Jones, very questionable on his weapons for sure. It's going to be very interesting. But so you have Jahan Dotson and Christian Watson versus Rashad Bateman. So Rashad Bateman, wide receiver 1 on his team. I like the Mac Jones side strictly for the fact, and I'm assuming this is super flex, strictly for the fact that Christian Watson and Jahan Dotson give you two basically not darts at the dartboard, but they give you two really good chances at having a big breakout versus Rashad Bateman's 1 wide receiver. And I think Rashad Bateman's slightly more talented, but I mean, Jahan Dotson and Christian Watson have the chance of becoming, if Terry McLaurin ends up having issues in Washington, or if Christian Watson easily could take over the wide receiver 1 of that team with Aaron Rodgers. And I'll take the Mac Jones side. I will. It's a tough one, but I'll take the Mac Jones side. Peter asked 3 trades. Oh, no, that was already a trade again. I must have put it in there twice. Daniel Straub has Elijah Mitchell and 209 for the 104. Need and want to take a top 3 rookie. Well, I mean, 104 is going to get you that top 3 rookie, and if it doesn't, then it's Breece Hall, and you just ended up hitting the jackpot anyways. Especially if you're trading Elijah Mitchell away for Breece Hall. So you're going to get a top 3 wide receiver of this rookie class with either Drake London, Garrett Wilson, or Treylon Burks. I take this trade because Elijah Mitchell it's very questionable to see if a San Francisco running back can actually repeat or actually stay healthy for an entire season. You're really giving up 209, which is not much at all on the back end. You're giving up a Tyler Algier or something, an Alec Pierce, which could be something again, but the chances are it's not going to be something. So I will take the top 3 rookie wide receiver. I'll take 104 all day. If I'm able to give up Elijah Mitchell, it's the exact same trade when we had James Robinson, and I said, hey, I love James Robinson, but 104 last year, I mean, you're talking about a really good prospect. You're talking about, I mean, the class is better last year, but you're talking about Javonte or Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, and look at what you would have actually gotten if you actually got 104. Elijah Mitchell is in the same boat as James Robinson. I mean, James Robinson was undrafted, Elijah Mitchell late in the draft. So they're very similar, though, in the respected minds of their team. You also have Debo, that's also a half running back there. 12-team Superflex 2023 first, 4 2023 second, 2024 second, Alexander Madison, hashtag I got the first. I mean, really, you got 2 seconds. I'm trying to think why you would want to do this trade. Alexander Madison, a handcuff. You're getting, let's just say 2022 second is a quarter. A 2024 second is also a quarter. And Alexander Madison is a third quarter. And you're giving up $1. It just doesn't make sense. The only reason that you would do this trade is if you had Dalvin Cook. And even in those regards, because I said Alexander Madison in a couple weeks ago, has been getting traded for a second. If you have Dalvin Cook, I am just taking my 2023 second and just trading it for Alexander Madison. I don't want 3 quarters for my $1. So it's one of those Randall Costanzo. This is what, and I don't know how long you've been playing for. This is the ideal trade that you want to do to somebody else. You want to add 3 quarters and try to get somebody's $1, or even 4 quarters. hey, I'll give you 2 seconds, a third, maybe a dime, and Alexander Madison for that first. I want that first because they know that anything can happen, and all of a sudden that first that you have in a 12 team all of a sudden becomes 8 or 7 or 5, and you end up getting a top wide receiver running back in a great class, and you end up giving up the next CeeDee Lamb type, because we're talking about big, huge classes 2020. You end up giving up a CeeDee Lamb. You end up giving up whether I hate him or whether I hate him doesn't matter, but you ever giving up a Cam Akers, a Justin Jefferson, and sometimes it's a Henry Ruggs. But you know what? A lot of times it is a good player, especially in a really good class. So keep your first. Peter Gamel, you know what? I love that you just keep commenting because I will keep answering. Cortland Sutton for Darren Waller. I don't like Darren Waller. I think he's getting to the point where he is past. I think the decline is near. The decline is imminent. That being said, Darren Waller plays a position that is very hard to get a top 6 tight end. So if you are in need, if you have extra wide receivers, I will definitely trade for Darren Waller if I have Cortland Sutton, because Cortland Sutton, there's a chance that he ends up repeating last year and ends up being really bad. And there's also a chance that he ends up being really good and ends up being the alpha in the top 15 wide receiver. But I think that those chances are not equal, but I think that the chances are that he's going to end up being a wide receiver 2 or lower, and Darren Waller could easily perform as a top 5 tight end, which he's done a couple times. The next one, Peter says, is Lamar for, I almost said Latavius Murray. I don't know. The T-Train. Got me there. Kyler Murray. Well, this is just basically a would you rather have Lamar or rather have Curry? Kyler Murray. Combine him there. I'd rather have Kyler Murray. It's by a slight hair there, but by a pick or two, probably by 2 picks in Superflex, I'd rather have Kyler Murray. So there you go. Michael Spitzer, Jameson Williams. Oh, do I have that? Oh, no, I almost sent it in. I was like, do I have a lot more trades left? I don't. Jameson Williams and a 2023 second for Garrett Wilson. I'm currently a contender, so I see that being a late second. So, you're not giving much. If Garrett Wilson I have in a tier above Jameson Williams. Some people do, some people don't. If you do, then the 2023 second is a good trade. I think, personally, that's not as much going from like a 107 to a 104. Like, you're giving up a late second. It's fine. I like the trade, but if you think that Jameson Williams and Garrett Wilson are super close, that this trade doesn't make sense to you, there's a lot of analysts out there that would probably have Jameson Williams a hair below Wilson or even sometimes above Wilson, and of course that wouldn't make sense. But in my opinion, there is a gap there. Although be it that Jameson Williams easily could outperform Garrett Wilson in his entire career, but you also said contender, so you need 2022 season, and Jameson Williams may have not play / be on the pup / it might be Amon-Ra St. Brown the first 8-10 weeks. And that might frustrate you, and you might need a player now. You might need a wide receiver fill-in, and so Garrett Wilson is the better choice here. I want to see if I have any other trades. No other trades. So again, this is Marcus Dynasty with the Heads. Have a good July 4th weekend. I will see you guys Tuesday. I will be back, all right? This is Marcus Dynasty with the Dads. Peace out. Take care.